This video's tips and tricks will appear during the combat phase of turn 2, where I talk about acceptable risks. Alright, let's go. Celebrimbor's secret, the ruins of Austin Idyll. We're going to add Bellach, the Orc Search, and the secret chamber to the staging area. We're going to attach Celebrimbor's mold to the secret chamber, and then each player is going to add a different Austin Idyll location to the staging area. 1B, 14 quest points, time 3. After the last time counter is removed, we need to trigger all these scour effects that are in play. And then Bellach, he's immune, he cannot be engaged, and then we cannot advance unless Celebrimbor's mold is attached to a hero. Alright, let's take a look at Bellach. Angry Tommy Lee Jones over here. So he is an X547. X is the number of cards underneath the Orc Search. He has a Scour effect that says each player must search the encounter deck and discard pile for an Orc enemy and add it to the staging area. And he is a Mordor and a Spy traded enemy with 5 victory points. Okay, what's the Orc Search? This is an objective that's in the staging area. When a location has damage equal to its printed quest points, place it face down underneath the Orc Search. At the end of the refresh phase, raise each player's threat by the number of cards underneath the Orc Search. So this represents the Orcs trying to find the mold while we try to find the mold as well. Well, where is the mold? It might be at the secret chamber. It is immune to player card effects. So this is an X, where X is the number of players in the games. It has 6 quest points, and then to travel there we got to remove 3 progress from the current quest. And if this location leaves play due to damage on it, we lose the game. Let's take a look at the mold. So Celebrimbor's mold is an objective attachment. It's an artifact item. When it's free of encounters, we're going to grab it and attach it to a hero. And if that hero leaves play, we lose the game. So there it is. It's now attached to the secret chamber. And then the location I chose is Collapse Tower. It's a 1, it's a 4 progress. It has Surge, so I picked that one because the Surge doesn't trigger because you add it to the staging area. And it has a Scour effect. We need to return it to the staging area and place 2 damage on it if we ever have to trigger any Scour effects. So who's going to help me find this thing? Well, Pippin is. I mean, look at that art. He's trying to find it. He's a 6th threat, 2/1/1/2 Hobbit. Then each enemy gets +1 engagement cost for each Hobbit hero I control. And then response, after I engage an enemy with an engagement cost higher than my threat, I get to draw a card. I'm also going to be bringing a bunch of Sylvans. So Celeborn is here. He's going to give all of my Sylvans a stat boost when they enter play, and he's a pretty good quester. And then I'm also bringing a new hero to the progression series, Éomer. So he's a 10 threat, 1/3/2/4 Rohan Noble Warrior. Response, after a character leaves play, Éomer gets +2 attack until the end of the round. That works very well with Sylvans. And I'll be using my custom tracker, resources across the top, threat on the bottom, and I already put the time tokens on there. So this deck is more of a fun deck that I built. It's definitely not the strongest deck. I'm probably going to have to make some risky moves for this thing to work, but this isn't an extremely hard quest, so you can have some fun with your decks. And to be honest, that's why I like this game. I like to experiment with deck builds. So yeah, I could build a deck that's a lot more powerful and would probably beat this thing every time. I'm probably going to have to take some pretty big risks for this deck to work, but I think I'm going to have a lot of fun with it. So let's go. Let's see what we can find. I want Olorian, I want Firefoot, and I get Tighten Our Belt, 0 cost leadership event. Refresh action, choose a player. Each hero that player controls that did not spend a resource that round gains 1 resource. Okay, that is really good. Okay, card draw. There's a Sylvan. There's Firefoot. So Éomer will get +2 attack, and then he gets to do like trample damage. So any excess damage from one attack you make can be put onto another enemy you're engaged with, as long as Éomer attacked alone. Okay, another Sylvan and some Lembas, so readying and healing. Okay, really good opening hand. I'm glad to see Firefoot. So we are going to keep that opening hand, and I think I'm not going to spend anything. I'm just going to wait to use that Tighten Our Belts during the refresh phase, and I should be able to have a really good turn 2. I drew another Sylvan. Yeah, I'm not even going to play Daron's Runes. I wouldn't play any card I draw anyway, and I might as well draw my next card next turn. So I have 1 more card to potentially discard to it. So let's send 5 on the quest, and we're currently up against 2, and we get Discovered. Does this guy not have any peripheral vision? Okay, when revealed, we either got to trigger all the Scour effects currently in play or place a card from our hand at random face down underneath the Orc Search. Well, I don't want the Orc Search to ramp up. That can really make my threat go crazy. So I will trigger the Scour effect. So that means look at each card in play and see if there's a Scour effect. So the location in the staging area says place 2 damage on it and return it back to the staging area. And then Bellach says I need to go find an orc. Okay, so I'm going to look through the deck and I'm going to grab one of these orcs that have a when revealed effect, because since you're adding it to the staging area, there's no reason to not grab orcs that have when revealed effects. So this guy is a great choice, and he's kind of a wimp to kill, so I will add him to the staging area. We actually make a progress. Let's travel to this location. I can't travel to the secret chamber until I have 3 progress on the quest. And now let's engage this orc. He does have a higher engagement than my threat, so I get to draw a card, and I get the Nath Guide. Nice. Alright, so combat's going to be a little tricky. I don't have a way to kill this guy yet, so I think I'll just defend with Éomer and take a damage or 2. So he'll defend. Here's the shadow. No shadow effect, so he defended for 2. So he's going to take a damage. And then we are going to go into the refresh phase. So I raise my threat. I ready everybody. Then the action window opens up for me to play a refresh action. So I will play Tighten Our Belts and give everybody a resource since none of them spent any money this round. Time counter goes off at the end of the round. Everybody gets another resource each, and we draw another Nath Guide. Okay, great. Okay, so now I'll play Daron's Runes, and let's see what we get. Okay, Tree People, definitely keeping that. And Deep Knowledge, more card draw. Okay, so I will get rid of one of the expensive lore Sylvans. I'm really looking for Olorian. That helps me pay for these Sylvans. So let's play Deep Knowledge, raise my threat by 2, and let's draw 2 cards. We get the Blade of Gondolin. That's great. And then Orofin. Okay, he's expensive. Let's put Firefoot on Éomer, so now he's attacking for 5. Let's put in a Nath Guide. I will choose Éomer to not exhaust a quest, so we can add his 1 willpower to the quest. Let's put in the Blade of Gondolin, so +1 when attacking an orc. And then if you defeat an enemy, you can place a progress on the quest. And let's see what else. Lembas, yeah. So I control a Noldor or Sylvan hero, so I will put that on Celebrimbor, so he can ready, and if he has any damage, he'd heal the damage. So that seems pretty good. So once it's all said and done, that Nath Guide is questing for 2. I am sending 8. 8, and we get, oh lord, okay. So Bellach Scout. It's an orc, but when revealed, I either gotta put 3 damage on the active location or reveal another card. I definitely don't want to reveal another card. So it looks like that active location is going to get 5 damage, which is more than its printed quest points. So it's going to go underneath the Orc Search. So now at the end of the round, I need to remember to raise my threat by an additional 1. So I'm going to put it down there. Let's see if I remember. Okay, so now Bellach actually gets 1 threat because of that card. So it's 4 against 8. So I make 4 progress. So that's going to put me at 5. So that's getting there. But then I'm going to back off 3 so I can travel to the secret chamber, because you have to remove 3 progress to travel there. So I did that. So now that is the active location. And I don't need to engage this guy, but I'm pretty sure I can trample these guys to death. So here we go. This is where I got to really take some risks. All right, Pippin draws me a card. I got to take some risks in order to win. So one of the goals of this progression series is to pass along information I have gained as I've played this game over the years. And I don't know how many games I've played. It's got to be in the thousands. And so this game, you have to take risks, and it's fun. That's why I like it. Taking risks is fun. It makes the game more interesting, in my opinion. And in this case, I feel like I have a chance to kill both of these orcs. I know this quest, and I know you can start to get enemies swarmed. I know the staging area can fill up with locations, so leaving that orc up there is more threat I need to quest over. So the risk I am taking is needing to defend 2 attacks when I could just defend 1 and then kill the enemy with Éomer. But because Firefoot gives Éomer this trample ability, I can kill both of these enemies, and that seems like the right thing to do, but it involves the risk of the 2 attacks. And I know there are shadows that make additional attacks. What I'm going to do is pull back the ally with Tree People. I should be able to get an ally in play that is ready to handle 1 attack, And then Celebrimbor is actually going to take it undefended. And then if I get the additional attack, Lembas can ready him and he can defend the additional attack. The big risk is if that enemy that attacks for 3 gets a shadow boost that gives him +1 attack. But I feel like this is an acceptable risk, and my board state will be much better off if I am able to take this risk and survive. So that's a big part of this game. Knowing what the quest can throw at you in the future and your current board state, and is it an acceptable risk to take this extra attack if it'll mean my board state is so much better off in the future. And I feel like this is an acceptable risk. I want that threat out of the staging area. I want to kill both of these orcs, and I'm going to take the extra attack from engaging this enemy and see if that will lead me down a path to victory. It's definitely something I'm doing, looking at the long game, looking at the eventual win, and let's hope it works out. So I'm going to do Tree People and pull back this Nath guide. I don't care what Sylvan I get. I just want a Sylvan that is ready and can take one of these hits. I want a Sylvan that can basically die. So I might as well take this Galadriel Minstrel, because then when she enters play, she's going to let me search my deck and try to find an event. So I get some value out of just putting her in play. So let's shuffle and let's find an event in my top 5 cards. There's another Minstrel. There's another Tree People. Limit once per phase. Tighten our belts. Okay, Feigned Voices. That's actually really good. That's incredibly good. So I pulled back the Nath Guide, and that boosts Éomer. That was one of the reasons I wanted to pull back a Sylvan. But now I can pull back the Sylvan I just entered play with and cancel an attack. So I will. I'll cancel the one from Bellach's Scout. And I know I can trigger Lembas to ready Celebrimbor, but I'm worried about an additional attack. So if that shadow is an additional attack, I'll take 3 damage and then ready Celebrimbor, and then I can defend again. And I said I'm going to play risky, so here we go. I'm going to take this undefended and hope he doesn't get a +1 attack. I know there's shadows that could screw me over, and this is attacking enemy gets +1 attack for each location in the staging area. Okay, whew. That is no additional attack, so I'm going to put 3 damage on Celebrimbor. Éomer is attacking for 8, so it takes 4 to kill that guy, and then you can trample another enemy you're engaged with that's not unique. So 4 damage goes on that guy, and they're both dead. So that's really fun. That's really cool. That's exactly what I was hoping this deck would do, and I just love trampling. It's just a riot. So I've cleared out the enemies. I feel like that turn was a do or die turn. If I didn't kill those enemies that round, I was probably going to lose in a round or 2. So let's remove a time counter. Let's gain some resources. Let's increase my threat. I drew Pursuing the Enemy. That's return a Sylvan to your hand to deal damage to enemies engaged with a player. You will see I did forget to raise my threat by an additional 1. I remember in a minute. So I'm going to play Nath Guide. I'm going to choose Éomer. I'm going to play this Minstrel and search my top 5 for an event. So let's see what we get. Okay, another Tree People. That's good. There's another Pursuing the Enemy. That's good. I'm just glad to see events. I just don't want it to whiff. And then Nath Guide and a weapon and Firefoot. Okay, so of those 2 events, definitely Tree People. That's definitely the best one. Played 2 Sylvans that are now questing for 2 each. Here I make a slight mistake. I add a progress to the Secret Chamber thinking I should have added it because of Blade of Gondolin, but it's immune, so I shouldn't have done that. It's not going to matter, but there should not be a progress on there. So I will be sending 10 against 1. There I'm remembering I should have raised my threat an additional point. And we get a 2 threat location that says to travel there, we got to place a damage on it, and the Scour effect is to deal damage equal to the number of locations in play to locations in play. Alrighty, so I do make enough progress to clear that location, and then there should only be 3 progress on the quest, not 4, and we get the mold. So who should hold it? Pippin. Here you go, Pip. He's really good at holding things. He's just excellent. Okay, traveling to this location, you have to put a damage on it. I have no combat, so that's great. And yeah, we're just going to go into the next round. So my threat goes up by 2. And then everybody should ready, and then the time counter goes off. And that was the last time counter. So we got to trigger any Scour effects. So this one says place damage equal to the number of locations in play. So that's 1 damage has to go on a location. And then I need to find an orc. So once again, I'm grabbing this one that has a when revealed effect. It's crazy not to, since you're just adding it. Okay, 3 time counters go back on. Everyone's got a resource back, and everyone is ready. The card we draw is another Defender of the Nath. I'm going to play Tree People and pull back the Minstrel. So I get to search the top 5 for a Sylvan and put the Sylvan into play. There's Olorian that I'm looking for. Okay, there. 1 Sylvan, so we will definitely take it. And then that means I shuffle again. And now I get to look at the top 5 for an event. So lots of shuffling when you play Sylvans. So let's look at the top 5 for an event. There's an event, the Goblin Cleaver. That's great in this quest. And then another Tree People. Well, I feel like you always have to take Tree People. It's basically a card draw. It's a free ally. So yeah, let's take the Tree People. I'm going to play another Galadriel Minstrel at full cost. So I'm going to get to shuffle again. And let's see what we get. Firefoot, there's an event. There's a Lorien, there's an event. And ooh, Quick Strike. Action, exhaust a character you control and immediately declare it an attacker. Man, with Eomer and Firefoot, that could basically kill 2 enemies if you get the right 2 enemies engaged with you with that card. So I'm definitely going to save a resource so I can play that if I have to. So I'm not going to play that Defender of the Nath, but I am questing for 2, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So I'm sending 10 against 3. And you know what? I think I will trigger this Lembas this round. I'm going to need Celebrimbor to defend and attack anyway, so I might as well just have him ready. And then I double check my math, and I think I'm sending 8, but then I recheck it after I reveal a card and put it back at 10. And I just get a 2-threat location, so that was okay. All right, so I quested for enough to clear that location, so that's gone. Let's travel to the exact same location that I revealed. So that's 1 damage to travel there. Let's engage this guy. Pippin's going to let me draw a card because of that. It's the last time that's going to happen. We get a Galadan Archer. And then Celeborn's going to defend, like I said. So 3 against 2, and we get a Shadow of... Assign X damage among characters I control, where X is the number of cards underneath the Orc search. Okay, well, I'll put that on Celeborn. Then Celeborn takes 1 damage from that defending. And then Eomer has a ton of attack to kill this guy. And so I can place a progress with the Blade of Gondolin. And we are going to go to the next round. Raise my threat by 2. Get some money. Time counter goes off. Everybody readies. So much to remember with these time quests. You really got to get in a rhythm. And I draw another Blade of Gondolin. Well, Eomer is already restricted out, so he can't hold on to that. So I probably won't be playing that. Tree People. Sure, why not? Who do I want to pull back? I will pull back a Minstrel. And now Eomer is boosted for the rest of the round. And let's see, looking for a Sylvan. There's one, there's one. Oh man, I'd really like that Olorian. It's so close, I almost draw it so many times. Okay, so Nath Guide is going to tell Eomer he doesn't need to exhaust the quest. And let's see, what else do I want to do? I definitely like having that Quick Strike. That's going to be huge, I think, later. Yeah, let's get a Defender of the Nathan. So he's a good defender the round he comes in, and he's an okay defender the rest of the game. If a Sylvan leaves play, he readies. So that's nice. So his stats are all boosted right now. So if I have combat this round, he'll be able to help a lot. And Eomer is questing without exhausting thanks to that Nath Guide. The Nath Guide has +1 willpower. So when it's all said and done, I'm sending 10 against 1. And we place 3 damage on the active location. If there is no active location, it'll surge. Okay, well, 3 damage takes that location out. I can't decide if that's a good thing or a bad thing right now because it meant I didn't have to worry about the 3 progress, but it added a card underneath the Orc search. I think it's bad. Let's go with bad. It's bad. It's going to make my threat go up. So now I'm really close to getting out of here. I'm actually 2 quest points away. If you remember, I accidentally placed a progress when I shouldn't have. So we have 1 time counter left. Oh my gosh, and I draw Feigned Voices. That is a card I'm definitely going to need. That Sylvan I just tapped at, she can heal other Sylvans when she readies. So I want to get her in play, but I really just need to keep spamming the board with allies. That lack of Olorian is killing me. Okay, so you saw I played a Nath Guide. We'll pick Celeborn this time to not exhaust. And now I played a Galadriel Minstrel, and I'm looking for an event. It's either Tighten Our Belts or Pursuing the Enemy. I'm going to take tighten our belts, because it looks like next round I'm not going to be able to afford anything anyway. So I might as well just play a tighten our belts in the refresh phase and double my resources. All right, I'm sending quite a bit. Celebrimbor didn't have to exhaust to quest, and we get another copy of that location. So that is plenty to clear the quest. That extra progress I placed didn't matter. Okay, the enemy servant 2A, when revealed, trigger all the scour effects in play, and then Bellach's going to make an attack against me because I have the mold, and then we're going to attach the mold to him. Okay, so we got to find another orc thanks to Bellach's scour effect. There's that one that basically makes me reveal an additional encounter card or remove a time counter. And then we need to place damage on locations in play equal to the number of locations in play. So those were the two scour effects. Now Bellach's going to attack me. Defender of the Nath is not going to be able to survive this attack, but I'm glad he is here to take it. So he is defending for 3 against 5. The Shadow would have had us place a damage on the active location, but there isn't one. So the Defender of the Nath is in my discard pile. And now Bellach grabs the mold from Pippin. 2B, 12 quest points, time 3. After the last time counter is removed, we got to trigger the scour effects. Then we put 3 time counters back on. And then Bellach basically is going to stay in the staging area and be immune until we get 12 progress on here. Once we place 12 progress, he's not immune, and we can attack Bellach, kill him, grab the mold, and then we will win. So let's travel here. You got to place a damage on the location to travel there. And then I'm going to engage this guy. I don't get to draw a card because my threat is getting pretty high. All right, I'm going to do a Feigned Voices and pull back this Nath Guide. So no attack came that way. That's a good one to not have to worry about. And then Eomer can attack. So he's going to kill this guy. And then the Blade of Gondolin's going to trigger, and we're going to place a progress on the active location. And now we're going to go into the refresh phase and do all that fun stuff. And my threat is jumping up very fast. 3 threat a turn. So I am against the clock here. I need to win. And we draw Lembas. Okay, so unfortunately, I really can't play anything. I don't have Olorian, so we just go right into the quest phase, and I'll plan on playing that Tighten Our Belts this round. So I am not sending much. I'm only sending 8. It's 8 against 2. And we get Broken Lands. So that basically stops you from placing progress on locations in the staging area. I do make enough to clear the current active location, and we're going to place a couple progress on the quest. I don't really want to travel there. That's 6 quest points, and it's only 2 threats, so the economy doesn't work out. So now my threat goes up an additional 3, and I'm going to play Tighten Our Belts and give everybody a resource, and then we're going to go into the next round with more resources. 1 time counter. Everybody's ready. Let's draw a card. Okay, I don't need her, Daughter of Nimrodel. Oh boy, okay, this is going to be close. So let's play what we can. So Nath Guide coming in. No Olorian coming this game, making it very hard to play lots of cards. I'm going to play the Sylvan Tracker, so when he readies in the refresh phase, you can heal a damage on all Sylvans. I'm going to play the Galadan Archer. That would deal damage to an enemy not engaged with me, but the only enemy in play is immune. I'm going to hold on to the rest of my cards, and let's send on the quest. So one of those Nath guides are questing for 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, then the tracker, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, and Eomer is 14. 14 against 4, and we get Surge, Collapse Tower. Okay, and we get Deal All Orcs a shadow card. They get minus 15 engagement. If there's no orcs, Surge. And we get, oh god, the Bellach Scout. When revealed, either place 3 damage on the active location or reveal additional encounter card. So basically, Surge. Okay, please stop, please. And then we get an Orc Hound. Surge! Would you stop surging for the love of God? Okay, when revealed, place 3 damage on the active location. If you can't, Surge. This is not going well. Okay, we get this again. Now there's an Orc in staging area, so we can add a shadow card to it, and it gets minus 15 engagement. That's fine. It was coming down anyway. That was horrible. That was bad. That was not what we needed to happen. I needed hardly any threat to get added, and we added 3 cards. Okay, so I still made a few progress, but geez, I was really hoping to make a lot more. All right, since the time counters are going to go off, I don't want to travel to that location because it'll just come right back to the staging area anyway. So let's engage these two guys because we have to. Then they're going to get a couple of shadow cards, and I got to use some of these tricks I've been holding on to. So first thing first, pursuing the enemy. Not because I need the damage, it's because I need to boost AMR. So I'm going to pull back a Nath Guide, and that'll do a damage to each of these two enemies I'm engaged with. And now AMR is boosted. That's the important thing. That's why I wanted to do that. So now I can play Quick Strike, and let's get our revenge. So Quick Strike lets me declare an attack. So I will attack this Orc Hound, and then the trample damage will kill the Scout, and I don't get to do anything with those 3 shadow cards. So take that, you surgeon jerks. Sounded like I said surgeon jerks. Surging jerks. Okay, so end of the round. Everybody readies. I raised my threat by 3, and then the last time counter is going to go off, and I have to trigger all the Scour effects. So that means 2 damage on that collapsed tower, and then I need to find an Orc. And I think I've almost found all the Orcs that have when revealed. Yeah, there's only one left. So we'll add that Bellach Scout to the staging area so I don't have to worry about revealing that. And it's do or die time. Like I said, this was going to be close. I knew it when I built this deck that it wasn't going to be optimized. And if we don't win this round, we're dead. So threat is going to get us. So let's go. What do I draw? Daron's Runes? Okay, let's play Daron's Runes. Draw 2 cards. Firefoot and Daron's Runes. Discard Firefoot. Play Daron's Runes. Okay, 2 more cards. Feigned Voices. That's huge. And Firefoot. Okay. I will keep Feigned Voices and discard Firefoot. I think Feigned Voices is going to save the day here. And then now I remember something incredibly crucial. The Blade of Gondolin should have triggered. So I should have placed a progress on the quest when I killed that Orc Hound. Lembas is coming in for 1. So now I'll be able to have Celebrimbor ready in combat. I'm going to play a Nath Guide and choose Aemir to quest for 1 without exhausting. I think I remember in a moment that Sylvan Tracker should have healed Celebrimbor by 1. I do have enough resources to put a Nath Guide into place, so I will. And there's me, yep, remembering that. So I should have healed 1 on any Sylvan when that guy readied. So the Nath Guide's coming in, and that's all I can do. So this is it. I need to make enough progress to put 12 on the quest, and then I need to kill Bellach. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. All right, I'm sending 13, and I'm up against a lot. I'm up against quite a bit. So 13 against 7. I need to make 3 progress, and I reveal a 3 threat location. Okay, that's as close as it can get. So that Blade of Gondolin ended up being the deciding factor if I was going to get 12 progress there. So there's no reason to travel to a location that could leave play if a shadow makes it. So I'm going to travel to that Broken Lands. That's got 6 quest points, so I feel pretty safe. I really didn't have to travel. It just felt like the right thing to do. Okay, so I got these 2 enemies engaged with me. Bellach is 50 engagement, so I actually get to draw a card. Doesn't help me. Lembas is going to pop Celebrimbor back up and heal him. And then let's do this right. So there is a way I can do this very smart. So the first thing I'm going to do is defend with the Defender of the Nath, and then I have to discard a non-objective attachment. Okay, I don't think the Blade of Gondolin is going to help me because Bellach is not an Orc. So that card wasn't going to help me. The Defender of the Nath was defending for 3, so he doesn't take any damage. And then Feigned Voices against Bellach. He's not immune or anything, so I can pull back that Sylvan that boosts Aemir. It readies the Nath Defender dude, whatever his name is. But the important thing is I survived combat. So now I'm attacking for 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. That is enough on its own to kill Bellach. But let's throw in 2 more because it's fun. And that is it, guys. I did it. I did the 7 damage to Bellach. We get the mold back. There you go, Pippin. Hold on to that. And that is a victory. We have defeated Celebrimbor's secret. and we are ready to move on to the final adventure pack of the Ringmaker cycle, the Antlered Crown. So I hope you enjoyed that one. Take care, everybody. Bye-bye. Questing for 2 each.